It's the Koy Po. I'm so happy right now.
Oh, you're so happy, Joe.
Because, you know, we talk a lot, you and I.
We do.
We get sick of each other, obviously.
Sick of you now.
Yep. And then we always make it back here.
We do.
And we swim around in the koi pond. You like that?
I do like that. It's nice.
But every now and then I get somebody in here that always indirectly inspires me. And is just not only a great person, but a phenomenal comic internationally and nationally. That's what I love the most. When you can talk to an audience across the world, across the board. Truly is proof that comedy is the universal language.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like music and comedy. And I'm starting to think comedy is starting to take over music. Honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, Maz Jobrani.
Joe, I'm so happy to be here. I love you, man. I'm right back at you. It's like, it's a weird world we're living in right now because even before the pandemic, but even more so under the pandemic.
Yeah.
We just see each other on Instagram and the sort, right?
That's it.
So, and you know how the Instagram algorithm is. So if you give a love or whatever, you know, something, it starts giving you that person's. So somehow I must have said something on Joe's. I just keep seeing Joe and I'm like, hey, Joe. And it's funny because then I'll run into some other comedian. I'll be like Sebastian, I'll be like, you still doing comedy? Yeah, I go, I haven't seen you on Instagram because the algorithm doesn't feed it.
Yeah, they're like, go like one of my pictures, asshole.
Yeah. You know, if you press the heart, I'll tell you about it. When you're not interested, you're not going to know.
Yeah. So that's what's been happening. So I've been seeing with the doll, actually the books, and I'll be honest with you. What's great about you, and this goes all the way back to when we were starting out at the Laugh Factory together. You've always been the same positive hustle, and it's the same way you said that. Like I get inspired by you because I go, oh wow. I remember. I'm sure you've talked about this several times. The cards you'd pass out.
Yeah, man.
And that was crazy because we'd all be there, and it was like me and Joe, and back then it was like
Ruben Paul,
Johnny Sanchez.
Yes.
Let's say like Mitch Mulaney was the headliner, and you're like, oh, this guy's killing. Like, how am I gonna follow that? You know, Bob Marley. Some of these guys, you go, oh my god. And then Laugh Factory then was like super hot. That's like the dark ages, early 2000s.
Yeah, man.
Dark ages of the store. Killer. So now everyone's like, oh, this is great. Let's go upstairs. Let's get a drink. Not Joe. He's outside with a box. Hey, here I am. Follow me. Follow me. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just getting the word out.
Yeah, man.
But sincere. It was never like, there was nothing beyond just you enjoyed it. You want them to keep following you, and you had a right to. And I was like, God, I can get some cards made.
Yo, they used to make fun of me too.
Yeah.
Ruben Paul, I think Paula Bell would make fun of me. And they're like,
sure.
hey, go hand out your cards, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, they're out there. Go hand out. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Hand out those cards. But the reason why is, you want me to tell you the story behind that?
Sure.
I saw an interview, and I believe, I hate doing this because I always say it. Maybe I should research it, right? But I believe it's Aerosmith.
Okay.
Aerosmith was doing an interview, and I think Steve Tyler said they were printing out flyers, right?
Yeah.
To tell people where they were. And they literally were going to every car and sticking it in the windshield wipers. I'm like, imagine Aerosmith in the parking lot,
Right.
heading out, like putting flyers. Like, yo, if they did it, then I can do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right? That's a perfect, like, Puffy said it the best, man. I don't need to tell you what I did for success. The blueprint is there. I've shown you. It's public. Yeah. I've shown you what I did. If you're asking me what I did to be successful, you're pretty much lazy.
Yeah.
You know what it is. And you just don't want to do it. You just want to say it.
Well, listen, I say this all the time. You and I both know there's some comedians who are killers.
Yes.
But they were never good at marketing themselves, never good at doing the business side. And you go, oh man, why didn't that person get discovered? Or why hasn't that person? But maybe they will eventually. But they just never found their comfort zone. Because by the way, you got to have a comfort zone in this, right?
Yeah.
So just like you were saying yourself, early on, I heard Tommy Davidson talk at a Screen Actors Guild, had like a seminar for new comedians. And I'm sitting there watching, and Tommy Davidson was speaking, and he goes, when I came from DC, he goes, I would go to these clubs and I would kill. But he goes, what made me different was on the way out, as people were leaving, I'd say, hey, here's a list. Please sign up on my email list. I'll let you know. That hit me. So what I used to do is I used to get, before the internet, all that stuff, I worked at an ad agency. I had like 4 goofy shots. So I would just rotate the shots, and I would take postcards, and I would have the picture here, and then I would get stickies, and I would stick on the back the shows for the month.
Yeah.
And then I would put stamps, and I'm talking like 300-400 postcards at night. I'm doing this, put it in the mail, have my mailing list. Then I would take it to the casting director. You go to breakdown services and give it to them to send it to casting directors, who these motherfuckers, they never showed up.
Right.
They never do.
But in your mind, you're like, some casting director is going to see my goofy shot and be like, I need that guy. But meanwhile, your crowd, once you start, getting those people. So what happened for me, what helped my early success was people would book me for a bringer show. Now, bringer shows, it's like 10 horrible comedians. But out of the 10 horrible comedians, I was one of the better horrible comedians. And like you were saying, I had started this mailing list. So all of a sudden, I'd bring 5 people, 10 people. And someone else would come and be like, hey, can you come do my bringer show? Because I was constantly bringing people to my shows just because I was marketing.
Yes.
So that's such a big part of it, dude.
It's crazy. It's word of mouth is still king. I'm sorry.
No, for sure.
You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on radio, billboards, magazine ads, word of mouth, and tangible ads.
It's number one because just, for example, your T-shirts, right? When you have your T-shirts and somebody's a fan is wearing that, and a friend or family member sees that, they trust that person, right? Like they trust their opinion about you as an artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're walking billboards basically.
Yeah.
They're walking around with your advertisement.
Right.
Yo, yes, here, you can have one.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What I loved about Maz is his blow up was so cool, right? Because Maz was always a beast. Like when he would come to the Laugh Factory, and like he said, it was the earlier stages, right? So all the cats that you're kind of seeing right now, we were kind of like. We were on the cusp. A lot of us were like, you're at you're about to jump off, right? But you're on your tippy toes. You're doing one of those cartoon moves. Where you're like, yeah, and then explosion, right? Maz was one of those guys, right? He's like, I'm almost there, right? And then all of a sudden he gets like, it's like TV, no, movie. They weren't big parts,
Right?
But for us. Like, you know what I mean? Because this is just Maz, this guy that's running in and doing a spot and then going to another place and doing a spot. Like that's what we saw.
Yeah.
And then he's walking in. We're like, oh shit, this dude was in the movie.
Right.
Like, Maz got another movie.
Right.
Shit, he got another movie?
Isn't that crazy? Because you're totally right. Because in my mind, I'm just like, because just like you, I'm excited to get the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sometimes thinking they miscast me. I honestly thought, because the 2 big ones that I got back then, one was Friday After Next.
Yep.
And that was, the interesting thing about that was that I was working as a receptionist at some, I was because I was working I used to be an assistant at an advertising agency.
Okay.
They folded. Someone started another like marketing company. They were like, you want to come be a receptionist? I go, sure. So I'm answering phones, but I'm coming up and doing my stand-up by night. And then I go audition for Friday After Next, and I get the part. And because I was like a freelance receptionist, and by the way, it's not like they can't replace the receptionist. They were like, okay, go do your movie and we'll see what happens. So I go off for 2 weeks to do Friday After Next. They were shooting down in Long Beach. And, back then it was like, so I did 2 weeks. They paid me $8,000 a week. I made $16,000. Meanwhile, as a receptionist, the whole year I was probably making like $25,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm already 3/4 of the way in of my whole income after 2 weeks.
Right.
And I'm showing up and they got food and there's Ice Cube and there's, Mike Epps and John Witherspoon.
Cat Williams is in the same plaza.
I knew Cat before that.
Cat in the Hat.
From stand-up.
Yeah.
But it was his first movie or big movie. It was
Right.
Mihei and Terry Crews were the new guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What a fucking cast.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. That was the breakout movie for you guys.
Listen, Cat
Blew
Terry.
up. Terry.
Yeah.
And I just remember laughing. So Cat was just funny, on, off, in between, just a sweetheart of a guy.
Yep.
So anyway, all this, like for 2 weeks, I'm living. I got my own trailer for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Making my $16,000. Well, you know how it is when you're done. They're like, all right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good luck on your next audition.
Yeah. Then they go like this. Thanks, Maze. Wait. It's my last name. And you said my name wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
Bro, I'm back at the reception job.
Oh man!
But that's the thing, from the outside looking in, like for people that are spectating, it's a huge deal. I think, but when you're going through it, it's another job.
It's another gig for him, but for us, it was like, holy shit, this dude's the next Friday.
And by the way, everyone on set is also saying, bro, after this, you're taking off. You just go ahead and just go get a mansion. Why are you waiting?
Go buy it, man.
So you're in your head, you're like, oh, is this guy right? So you're all over the place.
Right.
And then you're back. And like you said, I mean, that's the beauty of stand-up comedy, I think, is that if I were just an actor, that I might have crashed hard. Because I'm coming off of this celebrity stuff, and now I'm back into like being a receptionist. What? But when you're a comedian, you're so used to getting shit on, right? Laugh Factory, they were like, "Oh, you want to perform on the open mic? You just show up at noon, line up till 7, in line with a bunch of like insane people.
Yeah, insane. Fucking sane.
Wait, what do you mean? Hold on. What do you guys?
Because it's an open mic, so it's like there's comics.
Right.
Well, there's guys that want to be comics, and then there's just people that just want to be warm tonight. And let's just go in. Fuck it, I'll go on stage and I'm gonna do this thing where I juggle my spit.
And your insecurity comes in. Because I remember when I went to line up, these guys all do these crazy open mics together, so they all know each other.
Yeah,
they know when to get there. They know who. So I show up. I'm like, out of 20, they're gonna see 20 people that night. I'm like maybe number 15.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about Laugh Factory or Comedy Store?
Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory. Oh my god! And Jamie's gonna see you.
Jamie's gonna see you. You're gonna do 3 minutes, and he'll talk to you, dude. I'm standing outside. This is before. So this is when I had my day job at the ad agency, and I told my boss, "Listen, I gotta take off work at noon to go stand in this line." I'm standing there, and all these cuckoos are there talking to each other. And one guy's like, "All right, guys, listen. Here's the rules. No holding places for anybody." So I'm sitting in my head. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's legit. I mean, he obviously comes all the time. He must be." Not thinking if he's coming all the time, then he's not getting past. But in my mind, I'm going, oh, he knows what he's doing. Then the guy shows up. He's got like missing fingers, and he's got his whole set written on cardboard boxes he's picked up here and there in different colors. He's like, you want to see my set?
But he's outside running the show.
These
He's
guys
outside
are
managing the line.
No. He's going through a set list, right?
He's going through a set list. Another guy's managing the line. Basically, all these cuckoos. In my head, I'm going, oh my God, these guys must be amazing because, we go there. Number one goes up. You see him, like, he was so confident outside. He's on stage now. He's sweating. and he's looking over at Jamie, and Jamie's like,
buddy. Last time, buddy.
And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's so insecure.
Yeah.
He was the king of the line.
The king of the line.
Yeah.
But once he gets on that stage and the light goes on, this dude is fucked.
Yeah, he was the Lion King.
He was the Lion King.
Wow.
You like that play?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's lying.
Yeah,
King.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, Dre, out of 20 people, I think 2 of us overall, one guy was pretty good, and I felt strong. And I go, oh my God. And then you all got to go stand up upstairs. Jamie goes far booth, like the Godfather, sits in the corner. You're all standing in line for him to give you the review.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I don't know how it went for you. The first time I said with Jamie, buddy, you're really good. You're amazing. Buddy, you're fantastic. Buddy, you are like groundbreaking. You could be Richard Pryor. Come back in 5 months. I go, what the? You just,
holy shit.
I thought I was good. Come back later.
I never did the open mic. I did I got in. You remember Amy Anderson?
Yes.
Asian lady?
Yeah, of
And then
course.
she had the Asian show. I got on the Asian show and I was crushing. I was doing great, right? And I would see him, like you would have rumors because he wore the same brown jacket. Remember, he had the same brown jacket. So I'd hear rumors like, oh, he's here. You know what I mean? But I missed him, right? And he was like, and then finally I saw him. I was like, oh, he's here. So I'm going to make sure I crush it. And I remember I was crushing in front of him. I got off stage and I go, hey, Jamie. You know how he's very standout.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, hi. I go, did you happen to see my set? And he goes, no, I did not see it. They were talking to me, buddy. I go, oh, all right. Shit. And then Ralphie May comes out of nowhere like a god and goes, hey, man, quit acting like you didn't fucking see him.
Nice.
You know he's funny.
Nice.
That's bullshit, Jamie.
Yeah.
Stop fucking with this kid.
Yeah.
You've seen him. Don't fuck with him like that.
And
Don't do that. And that's how I got in.
And that's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Is when guys like you or Ralphie or me or whoever, because once you get Jamie, once you win him over, you bust his balls.
Bust his balls, bro.
Yeah.
And thank God, rest in peace, Ralphie, because he's the reason. But I mean, by the way, I'm working at Nordstrom Rack, Borders Books. I'm cleaning yachts on the fucking weekend. And then finally, Ralphie saves me.
It's the most beautiful thing because we know each other.
Yeah,
and I've done that with Jamie before too. Where especially now, like he's like a brother now. And so before the pandemic, when we would do shows, we'd sit around and drink wine with Jamie. And if someone that was funny came up and Jamie didn't know him, I'd be like, "Hey, this is so and so. He's hilarious." Okay, buddy, you call Jamie. He's not calling shit.
Yeah.
You give him the time right now. Buddy, why are you breaking my balls, Jamie? Don't give me that bullshit. And by the way, one of my favorite nights, I'm hanging out with me. I think it was Tony Rock.
Yes.
Tiffany might have been there. Yeah. Tehran was there. We're all hanging out. Joe comes back.
Yeah.
And I felt so good.
Aww.
I felt so good. And you went on that stage, dude.
Yeah.
And
Tiffany brought me there.
Tiffany brought you there. Where were you guys coming from?
From the Forum, Elton John. And she goes, she goes, where are you going? I go, I'm just going to go home. She goes, I'm going to the Laugh Factory. Come with me. And I'm like, I don't know. Jamie and I kind of had a stupid fallout for some dumb reason. She goes, I don't care. You coming with me. And then I walked in and he hugged me. He goes, and now we're talking again. So thank God.
That's cool.
I get chills because it's like
that was such a special night too.
Such a special night.
It was us. It was the gang again. It was Tony, Maz, Tiffany, me. I was like, yo, this is like amazing.
And it's like and my favorite thing has become. It used to be my hang used to be the Comedy Store because that's where I first became a regular.
Yeah.
And I used to love hanging out and just till 1 or 2 in the morning. You listen to like I don't know. Paul Mooney telling a story, Eddie Griffin telling Joey Diaz, best storyteller in the world, bro. I'll tell you right now, bro. Yeah, I mean, one of his lines still sticks in my head. She had a pussy that looked like a bat with a hangover.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I love that description.
I mean,
I know, I've seen that.
Yeah. You know her?
Yeah, it's a bad bat. I've seen that one.
He's a poet. He is a poet. But I used to be my hang. But then eventually, what happened was as guys aged out, as Sebastian hit the road and Tripoli and Brett Ernst and all the guys I came up with, that place started hitting the road. The factory became the place for me to hang. So now what I would do before the pandemic, I would go get my set in at the store, which I love, by the way. Love the store, love the shows. But then I would end the night at the factory sipping on wine, Tony coming through, Johnny Sanchez coming through, Ruben coming through.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. And so that night for you to show up, it was like I would tell people, because the comics of our age, you know, we got shit to do. We're not hanging out that long. But I would tell people, dude, if you can swing by the factory like around 11 or so, it's loose. We're all busting balls. Comics, it's like a sitcom. People come in and out. And it's so fun. And to turn around, and I mean, again, I'm telling you, I get emotional because I was like, that's because I know you guys had your thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been someone who, looking back on it, like I grew up, my parents, you know, were not the best couple. So I was probably someone who's always been like, guys, we're friends. Let's find the friendship. So that was a beautiful night,
that's cool, man.
It was a beautiful moment.
That's cool.
And I'm so happy that I'm back with them again because I really do enjoy being able to go. And one of my favorite moments because of that, oh, shit. Let me tell you the best part of that is like, you know, because when we had the falling out, Joe was 2. You know what I mean? He was like 2 years old, 3 years old. And then now he's 17. You know what I mean? Wow. And now he was at that age where his friends were cruising the strip.
Yeah.
And they love like looking at the marquees and they're like, Dad, didn't you play the Laugh Factory all the time? Like you always talk about it. I go, yeah. He goes, man, I want to see it. Like, and I would always in my head, I'm like, oh, well, fuck it. That's not going to happen. And then after Tiffany and I, when Tiffany brought me in and Jamie was all good, you know, we made up. About 3 weeks later, we went and got ramen together, my son and I, on Melrose. And we were driving down Sunset, and he goes, oh, I just want to see what it looks like in there. Is it nice? I go, you want me to go up? And he goes, yeah. And I called, I don't know who I called, whoever the manager, I think it was Enrique.
Yeah.
I go, hey man, I'm going to come in right now. and I brought my son in. He sat in Jamie's booth.
Oh,
that's cool.
I went up after Tom Green. Bro, I had the set of my life, bro.
oh.
Yeah.
And it all in front of Joe. And it was just like he loved it. He couldn't believe
so
it, man.
cool.
Yeah, he was like, it was that moment in my life where I was like, yes, I finally got to do that in front of my son.
Yeah.
And he got to experience what that is, what that room is.
In that room, yeah.
Yeah, and it was on a weekday, and it was packed. Like, you couldn't believe it. It was like, fuck, there's people here on a Thursday. I'm like, yeah, man. And
You got me tearing up because several reasons. One is, first of all, absolutely what you just said. I tell every comedian, no matter how big you get, no matter what you do, that place, store, those are places you go in,
Yeah.
and you get on that stage, and it's like I don't know how to explain it.
I can't explain it.
I tell people, I go, like, being a comedian is like going to the gym. These guys who are yoked, there's a reason why we are yoked on stage. We're yoked,
Right.
yeah.
And now for me, this past pandemic year, the metaphor has been, or I should say, the parallel has been these new outdoor shows they're doing, and I've been doing them, and I get off that stage, I'm like, oh shit, I feel good.
Yeah.
So when you go to the Laugh Factory, and you have that audience right there, and you're home, and you're just on the wave, and you know that stage,
Yeah.
and to have your son see that, dude,
Yeah, you got to see it.
after all that time, because I don't know, I'm sure this is because I know you're an emotional person. I talk about how growing up with an Iranian family, immigrant family, I remember this as a kid, falling, scratching my knee. My dad was a very manly man, very good to me, but also manly. So cut my knee, I'm starting to cry, and he goes, "Son, men don't cry."
Right.
That's the immigrant parents' way of getting you to stop crying.
Yeah. And we don't have insurance. All right, let it scab up. Let it scab up. It'll heal. Pussy. You are pussy.
That's funny. That's funny. I'm not paying for shit.
I'm not paying for shit. All right. Go inside Maz.
So,
pussy of the 3 kids.
so that voice was in my head. So every time I remember seeing E.T. and people are crying in the movie theater, and I'm looking around, I'm getting ready to cry, and men don't cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terms of endearment, men don't cry.
Yeah.
Men don't cry. And it wasn't until my son was born that I think he undid the latch. And I just remember driving one time. I was going to some shoot up in like near Castaic. I'm driving on the 5. I'm going north, and they tell a story of the house that the guy who created Superman.
Yeah.
That house, I guess, is in Ohio or somewhere. That house was being sold because the guy who was living there couldn't afford it. And the guy who created Superman, his widow comes on, and she goes, before he passed away, he signed some comics or something for me, and he said, you may need this one day. This is just insurance if you ever need to sell one of these. And so she was going to sell it to help this guy save the house.
Wow.
And I was
Yeah.
and then the Superman song came. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. He's really saving the day right now.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
I'm crying. These goddamn kids.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they get you, man. They open the floodgates.
Yeah, they do, man.
Shit.
That was one of the best moments of my life. That one I will always cherish, man, because I really thought it was never going to happen. I would drive by and just get like angry, like, God, why? Like, why did this have to happen?
Right.
Like I want him
Still
to
wanting that relationship.
Yeah, I wanted that relationship back with Jamie, and I'm so happy that's why I love Tiffany so much, man. She's amazing.
She's something. Tiffany, I've been saying this. She's one of the hardest people to follow, and I'll tell you why. She's funny as hell. But it's that last speech she gives. Not always, but sometimes she'll do it. She goes, I curse each and every one of you. I curse each and every one of you for a life of joy and pleasure and this. So she's just taking you through laughter.
Yeah.
And now people in the audience are crying. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she's such a sweetheart. And they're like, who's next? Maz. I'm like, shit.
Men don't cry. Okay? Men do not cry.
Stop
Terms of endearment. I don't know why I watched it as a kid, but when I did, I didn't cry.
I did not cry.
I did not cry.
Hilarious, dude. Oh my God. I'm
When you
telling
said terms of endearment, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, why the fuck did you watch
Yeah,
that?
when did you watch that?
How old were you?
Dude, my parents didn't know what they were doing. They
Yeah.
were like, let's go see. Like, they didn't know. There was no. I honestly remember seeing The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I think I must have been between 8 and 10.
Yeah, that's about when I saw it.
It was on Showtime.
Yep.
And we're just sitting there watching, and the head's spinning, and my parents were like,
I saw that. I saw Carrie when I was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, that's traumatic.
Yeah, it is.
know.
Well, why are they letting us
7
watch
and
that
8.
shit?
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
And terms of endearment, when somebody dies from cancer.
You legit watch that?
My mom took me to Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
You know how frightened I was every night?
Shit.
Every time I heard a helicopter.
The horror. The horror.
They're dancing in pig's blood. What scene is this? I'm telling you, man. No, that was the time. You're about the same age as me. I think you're younger than me. How old are you?
49.
Oh, we're the same.
Yeah.
So then we grew up during the same time, right? Like when we grew up at, when your family came to America, how old were you then?
I was 6. It was late 78. Grew up in Northern California. My father comes with a lot of money. Back then, he had because there was a revolution in Iran. He was able to get a good amount of his money out, and he was a successful businessman. He had an electric company in Iran.
Yeah.
Successful. And the best character I can compare my dad to is Vito Corleone. Like, he was the guy who, if you wanted something done, he would help. And he was very generous in that way. But he comes to America, doesn't really know the system, buys a bunch of property, loses all his money.
Oh, man.
So basically, he was like the American dream in reverse.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Northern California, and I remember, again, I think I've referenced you on this, because when Eddie Murphy came back to do Saturday Night Live, being on your Instagram feed, I think I saw you do something about like, this is my guy. And I know that Sebastian, Brett, I know all of us were of that era. Like, Eddie Murphy is our hero.
He is.
The reason why I'm in comedy is because of Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
100%. I loved Richard Pryor. I listened to his tapes, but there was something about Eddie Murphy. You know what it is? Now that I'm older, I finally figured out what it was.
What is it?
He was 20.
Yes. Yes.
But you didn't know he was 20.
No.
But kids relate to kids. You don't have to tell me your age, but like, I get you, bro. And that humor you're doing, I really get it.
Nah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and Delirious, I get it. It's like, you know what I mean? There was Cosby, which was still funny, and then there was Eddie, because it's just, I get it. Like, you're speaking my fucking language for some reason.
For sure.
So here's what's interesting, because before Delirious, I went back and looked this up. So he had a tape. And it was just called Eddie Murphy.
Yep, I remember.
I remember that.
And I remember the Pope Mobile. We used to be sitting in a room.
Yep.
And like you guys were just talking about these movies that we saw that we weren't supposed to see.
Yeah.
That tape, I must have been 8 or 9.
I should not have had that at all.
It was the best tape
And
ever.
It was.
That was Hit by the Car. You remember Hit by a Car was on that?
Yeah.
But we should not have had that.
Amazing. It looked like the Statue of Liberty. That shit was so goddamn funny, man.
How about the your lights are on?
Yeah, your lights are on. Hey, motherfucker, your lights is on.
What the fuck, you blind and deaf? That's Eddie Murphy, 1982.
Genius.
So we're 10 years old at that point.
Yep.
Listening to this. Now, here's what's interesting, because with
same as me, dude. I think we lived in the same house.
Yeah.
It was the same. We were the same people going. That's why we ended up in this world.
Yeah.
And so when he was, so this is now, you tell me how you were as a young comic. I, as a young comic, was just totally green and like wide-eyed. And I'll tell you, one of my first experiences at the Comedy Store, I'd seen Paul Mooney here and there, comedy, you know, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. I'm on the list with Paul Mooney at the Comedy Store.
Wow.
I'm like, whatever. Nobody knows who I am, but I'm so silly. I walk up to Paul Mooney. Hi, Mr. Mooney. I just want to say it's a pleasure to be on the same stage as you. He's so not used to this. He's like, oh, what? I just want to say it's very pleasure to be. Oh, okay, homie. Okay. And he walks away from me like, who the fuck? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going like, oh, wow. I just told Paul Mooney it's a pleasure to be. You know, in this comedy game, you got to be like, hey, Mr. Mooney, big fan. I'm going to go kill it.
Right.
I was like,
and he's going to go, no, you're not.
No, you're not. Exactly. So,
because I'm going to do an hour and a half.
No, you're not getting that.
You're not getting any time.
You're not going to be at any stage.
Do you know who the fuck I am?
Yeah.
I wrote for Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
I wrote for Eddie Murphy. Yeah. I wrote for...
So Eddie was just on Seth Meyers.
I think he wrote for Red Fox, too.
He wrote for everybody.
He wrote for everybody.
Yeah.
So Eddie was just
on... Dave Chappelle. Jesus Christ. For everyone that doesn't know who Paul Mooney is, Dave Chappelle.
Or Homie Don't Play That.
Homie Don't Play That. That's right. He came up with Homie Don't Play That.
So Eddie was just on Seth Meyers promoting Coming to America 2. And he tells a story. Now, this is what you were talking about. Eddie was 20, but he was an old 20 as well.
Yeah,
like
he was.
mature.
Mature.
He said he came to he goes, the first time I went to the Comedy Store, he goes, I'm on stage. I'm on Saturday Night Live. I'm on stage, and the director of either 48 Hours of Trading Places was there. They haven't shot it yet, but the director's there. He goes, I start doing my set. He goes, about 5 minutes in, they start lighting me. And I go, hey, motherfuckers, why you light me? I just got here. Right. And they go, well, Paul Mooney's here. And Eddie says, I go, who the fuck is Paul Mooney? This is a guy like 1920,
right.
19 or 20 years old.
Right.
And they go, it's Paul Mooney. And Eddie goes, I turn to the audience and I go, you guys want to see me or you want to see Paul Mooney? The audience goes, you. He stays on stage, runs the light, gets off stage, John Witherspoon and Paul Mooney in the parking lot. Hey, kid, you can't be doing that shit. You owe him an apology. And he goes, I ain't apologizing to anybody, motherfuckers. And then he goes, Paul Mooney comes up to him and goes, I heard you do a joke about something, you know, whatever it is, your father. But he goes, I have a similar kind of theme joke. Could you do your joke for me? I want to see. And Eddie goes, I ain't doing my joke for you, motherfucker. So he was standing up to these veterans.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this. I go, holy shit, that dude had some swagger.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. He had swagger.
Oh, yeah, beyond swag. He owned it.
But at that point, he'd have been, what, 5-6 years in the game,
Yeah,
right?
he was at 14 when he was doing it.
Yeah.
You want to know another thing?
Yeah.
I went to Raw.
I went to Raw.
I went to it live in concert.
I have the ticket from 1987.
That's dope.
Shit.
Oakland Coliseum.
That's dope.
That's
Mine was.
great.
I bought the tickets on the phone.
Yes.
I used my mom's voice so I could use the credit card.
Yes.
Had to go to, I believe it was called the Bon Marché at the
Yep.
Tacoma Mall.
Yep.
And because this is when Ticketmaster would just have booths inside of department stores.
Yeah.
And I picked up my tickets. You remember who opened for him?
I don't remember the opening act.
Paul Mooney.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Paul Mooney opened for him wearing a pink fedora. He was on stage for an hour.
Wow.
And I remember, now you got to remember, this is like 1986, 87, I believe the tour was, right? And I remember sitting there, 86, I'm what? I'm like 16 years old? What time was it? When was it?
87.
So it was 87. So what am I? I'm 16, whatever. Whatever I'm 15, 16. And I remember sitting in the audience. Mind you, there's no such thing as Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. What you're seeing is literally like, I can't even explain it. It's like, remember when you saw Jackass for the first time? You're like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to all go to jail and die right now.
Right.
They're going to die, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I saw Paul Mooney, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is it? It was so amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because he was saying these words and he was saying these things about white people and other ethnicities.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard Richard do it. I've heard other people do it, but not this.
that way, yeah.
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not in this context. Not with this delivery.
Right.
He literally sat on the stool with this big fucking Michael Jackson pink fedora. And he literally sat there and he was just talking. He talked like that. And I was with my friend William at the time. I was like, yo, this dude is crushing. Who the fuck is this? There's no Def Jam, by the way. There's none of that.
Right.
Your only access to black comedy was what was ever on NBC at the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or maybe HBO if they put something on.
Robert Townsend, who was
Robert
great,
Townsend.
by the way.
Robert Townsend, bro.
Yeah.
Robert Townsend is legend. The only reason why most of these motherfuckers are out because of Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend directed Raw.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I didn't mean to say motherfuckers. What I meant is like in terms of endearment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he put Witherspoon on, Tommy Davidson on,
Yes.
all of the Wayans.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was
Hollywood Shuffle.
Hollywood Shuffle, man,
movies
on his
ever.
credit card.
Bruh.
But that was it though. You had to have HBO to see that.
Yes.
There was nothing accessible to like us. So Paul, when I saw that, man, I remember explaining him. There's black dude with a pink fedora, man. He was, like I didn't even know how to say his name, dude. But yeah,
Dude,
Raw was amazing.
I still have the ticket stubs in an album.
Damn
from
it,
My
I'm
Raw.
proud.
From Raw.
Oh.
Now, here's the other thing, though. You just explained to me something that I didn't even realize. And you just, like, you know how your memory says one thing and then somebody tells you, you go, really?
Yeah.
So for the longest time, when people have been coming up to me, people book me for a show and they'll be like, especially like when we go to the Middle East to do shows, we have 15 comics. It's going to be 3 hours. Then you will go on at the 4th hour. I'm like, whoa. I go, motherfucker, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I go, comedy is done an hour and a half.
Yeah.
If you want an intermission, we can go to 2, whatever. And I always use the example of, I go, Broadway, best dancers, best singers in the world. They'll do an hour, they take a break,
Yeah.
they come back to their second hour, call it a night.
Right.
I go, you got way too many people on the show. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
By the way, I go, I went and saw Raw when I was a kid. Eddie Murphy, my comedy god. Saw him live. I go, people get tired of laughing. I go, 45 minutes in, I was tired of laughing. I forgot Mooney had done an hour. You just closed the story for me. That's the reason I was tired, because Mooney just done an hour. Because he was the opening act.
He was the opening act, man.
I don't remember Mooney, because I just remember 45 minutes in with Eddie. Because you know how it is. When that comedy god walks out, there's Eddie Murphy. He goes, "What's up?" Whatever he says, motherfucker. He says, and he'd be like, oh, Oakland, Oakland. 45 minutes. I just remember like Jaws. I was like, oh, man.
I bet.
But I'd been watching Mooney for an hour too. It was an hour and 45 in.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's crazy, dude. That was such a great concert. I still remember. I was such an Arsenio Hall fan too. And I remember there was this guy that had these puppets. He was this black guy. He had these puppets and that he made on broomsticks. Right. And then he could move their mouths, and he was doing it. And he was a guest with Eddie Murphy. So Eddie Murphy was on Arsenio Hall, and this guy was the act before Eddie.
I remember
right?
that guy.
You remember that guy?
Yeah, it was on a stick.
And then like Eddie goes,
wasn't that Heath Heish? He was the white guy.
I don't know. No, it was a black guy. It was a black guy. And he goes, man, I like that guy. I'm gonna take him on tour. Like that. Wow. That's what he said on Arsenio. And he opened for Paul. He went up before Paul. I was like, I remember I looked at Will. I was like, that's a dude from Arsenio Hall, man. That's him, dude. It was that was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Amazing,
man. I've never witnessed anything like that before, and I've gone and saw some greats, man. Like I saw Richard Jeni when he was like fucking, Platypus Man, and then I saw Carlin at Bally's where they still were. You had to tip the usher to get close to the front, like it was like old Vegas, man.
Hilarious.
Like it was like in the '80s, man. And it was like, I remember they sat us way in the back by the freezer, and my dad had like 420s on him. He's like, "I'll get us close, you'll watch." And he kept giving the guy 20, and he just kept getting closer and closer. But I got to see Carlin at Bally's, man, in the showroom. Wow. There was just so many. I saw Chris,
dude. But the thing is, because by the way, again, I think part of it too is what you said. We were closer in age, but also you've seen it with your own son, and I'm seeing it with my kids. My daughter's 10, my son's 12.
Yeah.
Since the age of maybe 8, 9, they started really watching comedy, Saturday Night Live. Key and Peele right now for them is amazing. Every time when you get in the car, my son turns on Sirius XM. That's it. He's always going down the comedy channels.
Yep.
So for us back then, like what you're running through your list, that's what we did.
Yeah.
You go into that world. I saw Kinnison live at the Fillmore, and he did a thing at the end, talk about technology.
Yeah.
Talking to someone in the front. Has anyone broken your heart recently? Yeah, what's her name? Give me her phone number. They bring out a dial phone.
Wow.
With a cord into the microphone. He calls her, "Hey, is Jenny there?" You're hearing on the speaker. You're like, what the fuck? And they're like, "No, she's not." He's like, "Well, she comes back. Let her know. She's a bitch. I didn't God." He starts screaming at her.
Oh, my God, dude.
I mean, left and right. I saw Carlin live. I mean, that's what we did. But that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we were lucky to find that calling and go, I want to do that.
Yeah. How did it feel moving here? Your parents are immigrants, and moving into this country, and then having to find a way to become a comic without pissing off your parents.
Dude, it took me forever.
Because people don't understand that when I say that joke.
Yeah.
When I tell them that, it's like, you don't know how offensive that is to immigrant parents. You're literally slapping their fucking faces. You're literally shitting on what they think is the dream. Your dad escaped a revolution and grabbed what little money that he had, which was a lot, but it wasn't all, because he was escaping for freedom. Well, and now you want to tell fucking jokes? Exactly. Do you know who I am? I am the Persian version of the God for you fucking, you piece. Hey, stop crying. Fucking stop crying.
That's all this guy wants to do is cry and tell fucking jokes.
You want to tell jokes? You're going to make me cry.
That's the best impression of my dad I've ever seen in my entire life. You're welcome. You're going to play my dad in the movie.
Done.
Why is his father Italian? I don't know. It was a choice.
You need to know the backstory, man.
It was a choice. We went with it. No, it was absolutely unacceptable to do that. And that's why it took me so long to get around to it. Because what happened was, every time I throw it out there, the first time I went on a stage, like after whatever, being 4 and school play. Junior high, 7th grade, I did the musical. I auditioned for the musical. We were 7th and 8th. There was a musical called The Boyfriend. I don't know what inspired me, whether it was Eddie Murphy or the fact that like there was some girls I had crushes on that were doing this. Let me go audition. I go audition. It's a musical, and it was interesting because the director, her name was Shirley Bonbright. She goes, when you're up on stage on a musical, you always got to be smiling. You always got to be dancing and smiling.
Yeah.
That's why I hate musicals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey man, not everyone needs to smile.
Nobody's that happy.
Bro, no. You and I are gonna do a musical together.
Oh, I'm down.
You're gonna love the goddamn musical.
I'm down.
Every once in a while, I look over, Joe.
I can't wait.
Smile, motherfucker.
I love to
I can't wait to see this.
Bro, we do The Boyfriend, and here's what it is. I think coming from an immigrant family, we were taught to respect your elders.
Yes.
My mom used to hit us. My mom would hit us.
God,
My
same
dad never hit
here.
us. My mom would hit us.
Right.
Respect your elders. American kids talk back to your elders.
Yeah, fuck your elders.
Not all.
Not all.
Well, okay, maybe not black people.
Not black people.
Yeah, black people, you got to respect your elders.
Yeah.
But no,
I feel like black people are immigrants
We're
too.
close.
All right, let's just say you're immigrants too.
Let's just
say white people.
White people are taught they have the right to talk back to their parents.
Let's just say white people.
Let's get it out there.
Bro,
Let's just say it.
Bro, I was at my friend's house. His name is Jesse. He's one of my best friends to this day.
Yeah.
We're 12 or 13 years old. His mom walks in, says something like, Jesse, your room's always a mess. And he's like, Mom, leave me alone. And she goes, well, I never. And she walks away.
I never?
Yeah. And
Was she a Looney Tunes character?
I turn to Jesse. I go, is she coming back with a weapon? What's going on?
Oh, well, I never.
And he goes, no. He goes, no. I go, that's it? He goes, that's it. I go, what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom, I couldn't be like, Mom, get off my back.
No.
My mom used to.
You can't say none of that.
She would. So I think because of that, in my head, I learned to listen to your adults. So when Shirley Bonbright, the director, says smile on stage, I'm smiling on stage because she might have a hanger and beat my ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're doing this thing. We're rehearsing. All the other American kids, white kids are like picking their fucking teeth, whatever. I'm sitting there. I show up one day. I'm sick. I go, Miss Bonbright, I'm under the weather, but I know you said it's an ensemble. We need to be here. By the way, I'm a background dancer. I'm in the 7th grade. It's 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
I'm one of the. I'm not. All I'm doing is the Charleston. Won't you, Charleston, with me? Da 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 da.
Smile.
I show up. I'm doing the rehearsal. I'm smiling. I'm dancing. And I've told her I'm sick. She stops the whole rehearsal. Everybody stop. Stop. Everyone. Look at him. Look at him. He's sick. He came. He's smiling. You got to learn from him. In my head, I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
And that was the seed. The seed's in my head. Boom, boom, boom. Next year, I get the lead, Little Abner. Next year, every 9th grade, every year, I'm getting better and better. My parents are showing up to these shows now. By the way, I don't know how Filipino parents were. When Persian parents came to any rundown event in the gymnasium, they'd be dressed up like they're at the goddamn Copacabana.
Yeah. All your gold, Mom? All of your gold?
Yeah. Fur coats?
Yeah.
Don't wear the goddamn fur coat.
Yeah, you know we're getting free milks, right? We fill out the applications and you're coming in like Mrs. T?
What the hell?
What the fuck, Mom?
Dude. They would show, and they would come backstage after the show, and I swear to God, I remember like a couple times these teachers and directors would like come over and be like, your son's really good. Thank you. No, he's got what it takes to do this. Oh, thank you. We get in the car. I was like, oh my God, my dad said thank you. Maybe he's going to actually encourage me now to do this. And he'd be like, listen, don't listen to that lady. That bitch is crazy. You're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, and you won't cry, motherfucker.
Yeah, do not cry, even when you lose a case.
What? So they had me, I got into it in a roundabout way. I kept doing plays. I would do kind of a couple of open mics here and there, and then I let it go. And I was first going to be a lawyer because that's what they told me I should be. Then I was going to be a professor because I went.
So you're going to college for this?
I went to college. Undergrad, I went to Cal undergrad, got a poli-sci degree.
Jesus Christ.
Junior year, I went to Italy and studied abroad.
What?
One of my best years of my life.
Yeah.
I tell kids all the time, I go to another country for a year. You're going to love it. That's where I see this professor. I go, this is what I can do. Because I figured my parents, if I came back and said I'm going to be a professor, they'd be like, that's a respectable job. Mm-hmm. But still to them, they was like, no, you got to be a lawyer, make good money. So anyway, I got in a PhD program at UCLA.
Wow.
And I started, but right away I realized I don't want to do it because I started doing the plays at UCLA again, and I was alive on stage. And then by day in class, I was like, oh God, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Dropped out of that. And it was roundabout. So it wasn't until I was 26 when I finally had the maturity of mind to tell my parents, it's not about what you guys want, because I realized you live once and you gotta live for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure, yeah.
And so I had a lot of moments. Like I was working at an ad agency. I was a assistant for this creative director, and there was a guy there. His name was Joe Ryan. Joe was in his 60s. He was a producer at the ad agency. He was one of these like guardian angels that comes along in your life. And I was 26 at the time. My goal was to save up money till I'm 30 and then go for it.
Yeah.
Joe sees me doing a play. Hey, you're pretty funny. Have you thought about doing this? Joe, I was going to do it when I was 14, 15, 16, all my life. Didn't happen, but now I'm saving up money. In 4 years, I'm going to try this. And he goes, let me talk to you. He goes, look, I'm in my 60s. This is Joe Ryan. He goes, I'm in my 60s. There were some things I wanted to do in my 20s. I never got around to doing it. He goes, if you really want to do it, do it. Light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Went to my boss. I go, listen, dude, I don't have a gig, but I'm going to start taking improv classes. I'm going to start taking stand-up. I'm taking whatever. And that was it. That was the moment. And whenever people ask me now, they go, when did you consider yourself successful? I go, the moment I decided to do that,
Yes, sir.
I was successful. Everything else has been icing on the cake.
Exactly, man.
Yes,
Success isn't money.
No.
Success is doing what you love to do.
Right. What you're passionate about.
Yeah,
for sure.
fulfill your dream. Recognizing what you were born to do.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be entertainment.
Right.
You could be a lumberjack, goddammit. If you were born to do it, love it.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
go into
seriously.
work going, man, I hate this axe.
That's
well,
the
you
thing.
weren't supposed to be a lumberjack.
Right.
Go find what it is that you want to do.
There's this quiz that I took. It's called the Working Genius, right? And it's basically about that. It's about when they say the word genius, it's about doing something that you're passionate about, because that's where you're going to find your genius at. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so if you're passionate about comedy, you're gonna eventually get good.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're passionate about, like you said, being a lumberjack, whatever, you're gonna thrive. You're gonna thrive in that, because you're gonna strive to be the best.
And you're going to be alive, like you were
Alive.
just saying. There was no, like when I was working at the ad agency, granted, advertising is actually, in terms of office work, like that's one of the more fun. If you work in the creative side of advertising, you're running around with a bunch of creatives. There's foosball tables. There's all, the mood is the right mood. But there was many days where I'm driving to the work and I'm like daydreaming, and I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to be going there. I would say in all these years of stand-up comedy, even when I've had the long ass drive, there's never been a time where I'm like, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't think of one time where I was like, I mean, there's been times I'm on a plane, I'm tired, but not a single time where I'm like, no, I don't.
When you're passionately in love with what you do, you go in when you're on your deathbed. I did a show. I swear to God, I think I should have died. I think I had pneumonia. I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
It was in Hawaii, and it was like 4 years ago. I was on my deathbed. And they're like, should we cancel the show? And I'm like, you can ask my promoters, by the way. I'm not even like, I literally like crawled out, got on stage, told the crowd I was sick, went back to the green room, and I was done.
I mean,
and
imagine,
that's how much I loved it.
Absolutely.
It was like, and by the way, that hour that I was on stage, that hour and a half I was on, I felt so good.
Yeah, right.
I felt so good.
Right. I mean, it's such a blessing to be able to make money, to make a living at something that you can't get enough of.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean?
And it's what you said. It makes you feel alive.
Yep.
So I remember being at Cobb's, completely lost my voice.
Yeah.
Now there's by the
in
way,
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you want to do it, but you also go, I want to entertain these people. And if anybody says, hey, I don't feel like I got my money's worth, give him his money back. But I'm on stage, realizing for the first time how much my voice, like I knew I did a lot of voices, but I'm like, anyway, and then I was like, I just whispered my way through the set. But I was like, I was moving, Joe. I was like,
You were smiling. Smile,
bro.
Smile.
People were like, yes, bro. I just did one recently. This is another crazy one. So because of the, I don't know if you've done the Zoom ones or not.
Nope.
Bro.
I refused.
Originally I refused to do the Zoom stuff, right? So let me just backtrack you into what made me want to do the Zoom stuff. The first time I did the Zoom stuff, maybe I don't know what it was, a month into the pandemic.
Yeah.
There's a group of Googlers, Iranian Googlers. These guys are Google guys.
Yeah.
They're Iranian.
You know how many racists right now listening going, yeah, that's what they are. Iranian Googlers, man. Those fucking Googlers. I've seen them. Hey, Maz, I know what you're talking about.
That's why
Iranian Googlers.
the goddamn K-Bob comes up every time.
Yeah, they look like this. Look, they look like that. Fucking Googlers.
These guys got in touch with me. They go, listen, we want to do a show for our employees, and we'll donate money to a charity you pick. So I picked a charity, and they go, this is early on. They go, by the way, we'll use Google Chats instead of Zoom. I was like, all right, you Google, that makes sense. Let's use Google Chats. And I had no idea how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And I get on there, and I have my opening. I don't know if you know Tehran. Tehran's a very funny dude. He's my opening act. And Tehran does this whole set. Iranian Googler, the Google version of Zoom. It goes great. Audience is there. They're laughing. Tehran's killing it. I start trying to do the act, and there's no sound.
Yeah.
And they're all like, the sound's not working. And I'm like, what do you mean? It just worked for him. It's not working. So then one guy goes, I'll call you, put you on speakerphone, and then you can do your act. Dude, I did it. It was the most fun I've ever had because comedians, when shit's not going right, it's the best. Because I was like, by the way, remind me to sell my Google stock after this. You guys suck. And I'm just tearing into Google now for the first 10 minutes. So that was that. And then after that, what's been great about these shows, it's actually a great way to work material because you just take stuff that's on your mind. You start talking because first of all, people are their standards have been like lowered because they're watching you on the computer. I go, look, I got into comedy to not have a desk job. Now I'm at a desk telling goddamn jokes. And then now like someone's got something in the background, you make fun of them, but you also tell your stories and you realize that you can work out your material in this kind of like this. It's a great place to work it out. But here's the crazy part. You're talking about like getting it done. I had one the other day, and I took my son to his soccer tournament, and we're driving back, and it was the worst traffic I've seen in LA in like 10 years, pre-pandemic. I had given myself over 2 hours to go what was supposed to be an hour to get home, be at the computer, do the show. It's now 2 hours or so. There's no way I'm going to make the show time. I go, all right, let me call this dude and see if they're running late because it was an event, and I'm the headliner.
Right.
See if they're running late, and then we can, hey man, you guys running late? Maybe 5 minutes? Shit. I go, listen, dude, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I go, I've done this before, do this for you. I'm gonna pull over on the side of the road. I'm doing the show from my phone.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, okay. I go, yeah, don't worry, I'll go on Zoom. You guys start. Meanwhile, I'm driving, I gotta pee. And I'm in the middle of the 10 freeway debating. I come off every exit. Traffic's just as bad. I go back on the 10. Off, on, off, on. Son's in the back, post-soccer game. Got my dog. I got a dog now in the back. I'm driving. We are now, Zoom has started. These guys have already started making their announcements. I'm probably like 3 or 4 minutes away. I'm like, I need a bathroom. Shit, they're going to introduce me. If they introduce me, now I got to be 40 minutes on Zoom.
While I got to pee.
I go, son, I haven't done this in like 25 years or so. I'm about to pee in a cup. Literally, the Zoom is on. I make sure it's muted. I go, make sure that shit's muted. Because last thing I need is for them to be like, why is there a leak in your car? Bro.
Why is he shaking?
Bro, literally peeing in a cup on the 10 freeway. Part of the traffic is because there's some cops here that have pulled the car. So there's cops here. I got a cup here. There's a car, a little like drag like Mustang with like 3, like 20-year-olds vroom, vroom, on my left. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. And I'm just like, God, please don't just be like, I just don't want to hear the words, give it up for Maz Jobrani. Yeah. Bro, I peed, I put the lid on the cup, I put it over there, I pulled over, I did the show 40 minutes. These guys couldn't have been happier.
What?
And we're like, that was the best show ever. I'm like, fuck, that's what we do.
Wow.
Really?
That's what we do. We get that shit
my
done.
hat off to you, sir. That's
It's
amazing.
fun.
I can't. I need that kinetic energy. I need
that's what you do.
I need that crowd.
Joe, but what you do is you say, guys, I need you to unmute 20 of you. 20 of you got to be unmuted. Give me the laughs. But I want to see all of you because throughout, there's been times where I'm doing my act.
Yeah.
And I look over. Literally, there's a guy on his phone going like this. I'm like, and you see his name. You're like, hey, Dre.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you Googling? What are you tweeting somebody, texting somebody? And the guy's like, and then now it becomes this thing with me and him. These guys are loving it. I swear to God, it's been, and by the way, you're done? Click, go into your house, get out of the office. Right. So it's been, and by the way, the other thing is I wanted to be able to say that I tried every style during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I did the drive-in, I did the Zoom.
What'd you think of that?
The drive-in was hit and miss. I've done 3 drive-ins now. The first time I did it, Irvine Improv, didn't realize you're supposed to tell them, oh, there it is. There we are. That's the picture right there. Look at that.
Oh, that's us. That was that night.
That's awesome. Oh, I love it.
Oh, it was such a great night.
What a great night, dude. So I didn't
Such an
realize.
awesome
I didn't
picture.
realize
I'm gonna frame that.
That's a great picture, man. I didn't realize you're supposed to get them to honk the first time I did it. So because when they're in the cars, have you done the drive-in?
No, I refuse.
So when they're in the cars, yeah, that one I kind of get you. So when they're in the cars, they're listening on a radio station.
Okay.
They're in their cars. The front row is out in their like little truck beds, so you're getting some laughter. But you have the roof of the Irvine Improv. You got 150 cars, so maybe you got like 600 people in their cars. You're telling jokes. I swear to God, I did what I thought was 45 minutes. Looked at my watch, it was 35 minutes. I'm like, shit, this is a lot slower than I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're not getting that feedback.
Yeah.
That was the first time I did it. Second time I did it, I figured it out. I went up with a high energy song. So when I went up, they're all going beep, 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 beep. They're honking. Rest of the show, every time I did a joke, the honks were the laughs. I had the best time. I go, this is fantastic. So that was the second time I did it. Again, Irvine Improv. Last time I did it was just recently at the Comedy Store Rose Bowl show. We show up and they say, I went to Emily, the booker. I go, I got to figure it out. I go, Emily, I got to figure it out. All I got to do is get them to honk, and that helps my timing. That gets them involved. Fantastic. She goes, oh, no, there's no honking allowed because of the place we're at. The people who own these homes, the rich people by the Rose Bowl, they don't want any honking. Well, of course, I'm going to go up on stage and be like, guys,
Honk.
yeah, I wanted you guys to interact, but you see the rich people up there? They don't want you honking.
Right.
And that became part of the whole thing.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
it was fun. Listen, you find, I remember somebody years ago told me that Gary Shandling told them every audience has like a lock. You got to figure out how to unlock that.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we got to do. You know, it's
Yeah.
like bobbing and weaving. How am I going to find, let me
Yeah.
just find, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't want to pick the lock, man. You know what I mean?
But you know what, Joe? Listen, I will encourage you. You don't have to pick the lock. That's the whole point. You don't
Yeah.
need to do it, and there's a million other places to put your energy. But I would encourage you to just like have you done any of the outdoor shows around town?
Nope. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. I did one that was a lot of fun. It was spontaneous. My friend Jason was like going to go do a show, and I go, hey, man, I'll go with you. It was at the mall in, I hope I'm saying this right, Huntington Beach.
Uh-huh.
It was a mall out there. It was right in front of H&M on the balcony.
Beautiful.
Bro, I crushed.
Of course.
It was amazing. That was a lot of fun. And then I'm getting ready to, and then I did, if anyone does an outdoor comedy show the right way, it's Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
I did Yellow Springs
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
in the cornfield. And my God, it was the most amazing thing I've ever done. And, Dave, he only does things, you know what I mean? He does things right. He doesn't, if he's not doing it right, he won't do it at all. I'm talking full on camera shoot.
Wow.
I think he had 6 cameras there. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
Behind the scenes, he had still cameras. He had 2 giant big screens on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
He had social distancing for everybody. 600 people in this damn cornfield.
600. Wow.
Yeah, it was 600. He got the city to approve it. And not only that, it made it made the type in Yellow Springs, Isaac. It made the community thrive. All these
about that.
businesses were blowing up, and it was all because of Dave, man. So
That's amazing.
What I'm trying to say is buy property in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Well, my boy Mo Amer is one of
I
those
love
guys.
Mo.
Mo's so talented. But
Yeah.
I saw those, and that looked like so much fun.
It
dude.
was, bro. I can't even explain to you how much fun that was.
Wow.
Man, it was the greatest. It was.
But around town now they've got
That's it right there,
he
that
was just
stage.
showing a second ago. Around town they've got that the Supernova one in Hollywood. They got Jam in the Van in West LA. They got a bunch that are popping up. And I'll be honest with you, what I'm realizing is the people that are going to these shows are comedy fans.
Yeah,
So-
they genuinely are. And
Comedy
they want
fans.
out. They
And
want
it's-
out of the house. They want to do it.
And it's across the board. So it's not just your fans.
No.
It's not just my fans, because the room, it's limited. So it's like 100 seats.
Yeah.
So you're gonna end up like, I've done shows now where you got Patton Oswalt going on, you got Bill Burr going on, you got Pablo Francisco, you got all these guys, Harlan Williams, you got all these guys showing up, and so I'm always of the mind. First of all, I love gigging, and I know you do, but it's just
love
like
it.
I just want to be able to.
I'll go up to that, Maz. I'll do
should.
that, but I won't do. I will not do the what is it called? The online. No, I can't.
Bro,
I don't even like my Zoom meetings, and I got some pretty fucking cool Zoom meetings I'm in right now.
Bro, you gotta come unannounced. Let's do when I'm doing a Zoom show, unannounced. I just want you to come on and we'll talk. You'll see how fun and
Yeah, but
funny it
that's
is.
different though. If you and I were to talk, that's a different thing.
But that's my point. You see, we are naturally looking for the funny. Because
Yeah.
I know you've done interviews and podcasts where the guy or girl is not a comedian.
Oh, I just did one they were awful.
They're awful. They're awful. And you do a joke, they don't even get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I did one. I get like, I'm sure you get the Filipinos reaching out. I get the Persians reaching out.
Yeah.
And some of them, because the Persian sense of humor is very different. Again, going back to respect and all that stuff. So and then they don't get sarcasm sometimes. Yeah. And this lady was like, "Will you do an Instagram live?" I have a horrible time saying no. I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And then as I'm doing it, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know. And then she's telling a story. She tells a story. It's pretty funny. She's like, you know, Maz John. We say John means deer. Maz John, like I would say Joe John, or I would say Dre John. It means deer. Maz John, I was telling a story. This is
John is a motherfucker.
John is a fun. I was telling a story. She goes, Maz John, I was telling a story. It's interesting. Was
Is it Jean?
John, like
John. It's legit
like
John.
Yeah,
That's
John
dope.
means deer.
I love that.
Well, John, I was telling a story. This is a funny story. I was thinking a funny story happened to me when I first came to America. Didn't speak English that well. I go to a bar. The bartender, his name was Stephen Jones, and he said, Stephen Jones, and he gave me a drink. So I think the drink is called Stephen Jones. So I come back the next day. I love the drink. It was delicious. I go, hi, can I have a Stephen Jones? They go, what? I go, I want a Stephen Jones. They go, no, he's not here. He's in the back. Bring Stephen Jones. So she basically tells me a story. They went and got Stephen Jones, the bartender, who was like, there's a girl wants you. I don't know what it is. So the guy shows up. He's like, you want me? He's like, I want the Stephen Jones. I'm Stephen Jones. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. This was the not guy's name. I think it was the drink's name. So I go, that's so funny that happened to you. I go, same thing happened to me. Luckily, the girl's name was Margarita. So ever since then, it's worked out for me. She was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Wow, that happened. Oh, her name is Margarita." She didn't get that I was joking.
Right.
It's Margarita's a drink.
Yeah,
She didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Oh, come on, I'm wasting my jokes here."
Yeah.
And then once you explain it, it's really
It's-
shitty.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying on these Zooms.
Yeah.
Like part of it is you're just naturally a funny person.
Yeah.
And you're just talking to these people.
I'll try it. I don't know. I might try. I won't. But I won't.
Let's just try it. Like, let's just try and have you pop in, and I'll just be like, "This is my friend Joe."
Yeah. Hey. I was cleaning the toilets.
No, Joe. Joe, we'll put like Mickey Mouse ears, and nobody will know who you are.
Yeah. Hey, la.
And then someone will be like,
This is cheesy. I'll say something like that.
Someone's gonna write in the comments and be like, "This guy's doing Joe Koy's material."
Yeah. This mouse. Fuck this mouse.
Fucking mouse.
You know what? I wanted to ask you, you know, with the climate that we're in, being Persian, right? Growing up during the times that we grew up, did you find yourself? And the reason why I'm saying this is because God, I want to make sure my words are right. Because I'm kind of like, it's not that I'm tired of saying it, but it's just like the systemic racism, like that we live in, right? The times that we lived in. I swear to God, I had like this moment with Dre, where, and I also with my book, I was reading my book, and I was just like, God damn, dude, I was part of systemic racism, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know what systemic racism was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, me and Dre were talking about it, and I was just like, God damn, man, you know, when you live in a country we're 76% white people, right? Like they don't even know how much power they really got. They truly don't. They just walk amongst us and they just think like, oh, dude, why you got to talk about your mom all the goddamn time? And I'm like, well, you know why, man? Because we're not represented. And it's hard for us to have an identity or even be inspired. So you just saying that to me is a form of systemic racism. For you not understanding that there's people here that have cultures and other religions other than yours, and you don't want to, and you don't understand why we want that to be represented. To me, is a form of a systemic racism, and why the reason why I'm saying that is because when you talk about your people or your mom or your dad, you want to give the best representation of that character. That's the respect of your father and your mother. And it's just like any other comic that lives on stage. Whenever you talk about your mom, you are doing an impersonation of your mom. So why isn't that questioned? Why isn't that questioned? Think about it. Why is it so easy for you to quickly go, why are you doing that accent with your mom? Like, what is it? Because it's my fucking mom. That's why I'm doing it. Now, why are you asking me that question, and why are you acting like you don't get it? To me, it's just an ignorant way of you just trying to deny the fact that you don't like what's happening. You know what I mean? You don't like this uprising of other cultures celebrating their cultures. It's an indirect way of you just saying, I don't fucking like it, and this is our norm.
Well, it's a stay in your place.
And it's quite offensive when you say something like that. For you to act like you don't understand what my mom is saying is completely fucking demeaning and disrespectful.
It's almost like keep that in your house.
Yeah, keep that home. Keep that at home, man. It's like, yo, my mom speaks. Not only does my mom speak amazing English, and she has a little bit of an accent, but she'll fucking shred you, bro. My mom's got the sharpest tongue. You can't fuck with my mom. That's why I did that one joke where my mom goes, oh, you're making fun of my accent? I speak 2 languages. How many do you speak? 1? You're stupid. Like, that's my mom. And you're going to act like you don't understand that or at least love that character. So, like that's the shit that offends me. Like when I got a note one time where they were like, hey, do you mind not talking about your mom on, it was a network show. I'm not going to say who it is. It was a big one. And that was the note. And I was just like, I remember like, first of all, you really? Like,
were you a guest on you were going to be a
no,
guest?
This is a very famous talk show. Like,
okay,
there's only 3 of them.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want to say their name because I don't. There's no reason to spend that kind of energy. But that's the systemic racism that, like, that's the power that they possess. Like, you have a fucking show with I don't know how many millions of people that are watching. You know what I mean? And you are giving me that note as if I don't exist, as if my mom doesn't exist in this country, as if my mom's not American. You don't want to give her a voice. And to me, like, when I hear that, man, I get so angry because when I grew up and wanted to be a comic and I heard, and I say this all the time, dude, I keep repeating myself, but it's like I want to say it. But when I heard the word babinka on the silver screen, when Rob Schneider had that one word, a Filipino word, raspberry babinka, he said it. It changed my life, bro. It gave me an identity. I was like, yo, that's me. That's our dessert. Because there's no one else on TV. There's no one else in the movies. There's no one else. There were, but they had to play. Lou Diamond Phillips had to be a Mexican guy. You know what I mean? Tia Carrere was, she was amazing. But like, there was nothing representing Filipinos that lived in America. That looked like my mom or said a word like my mom. So when I heard that, it changed my life. And all I'm saying is that one word in the 90s, what it did for me, or whenever that movie came out, I don't know when it came out, but with that one word, when I heard it, it changed my life. So when I talk about my mom, which is what I love to talk about, you know what I mean? No one says that to any other comic but someone with an accent. But when I talk about my mom, it's because I want to tell you about my life story, right? And not only that, you're going to relate to me. You're going to relate. You're going to be white. You're going to be Latino. You're going to be Asian. You're going to be whatever. All of you are going to say, my mom does the same shit. So that's offensive. But 2, I also want to inspire and give other people that babinka moment, man. That babinka moment. When I shot that special in the Philippines, Like, and I told Netflix, please just let me do this one special. Let me just show the world how beautiful my people are, how beautiful my mom is, how beautiful my aunt is, and how nice our food is, and how beautiful our country is. And by the way, we speak English. You can come here and visit. Don't be scared. Come. Beautiful people. Come. And that's what that moment was. That was my Babinka moment. So like, I know that was a long rant, but
you're right.
But like I know you do. Oh, and another thing I'm saying is, you know, when you got into this business, like, yeah, like my earlier shit, like you said, you're green, right? But like, what else were we supposed to do other than what we thought was normal?
Yeah.
Like, I'm only doing this because I know you think that that's an interpretation of us and that's what you think is funny. So I'm going to do it because that's the only way I can get in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, it's also your socialization too.
Yeah.
Like you grew up here, so that's what you thought was funny.
Exactly. But that's also their representation of me.
100%.
And it's like, if I do this, which took me years to figure out the right way to say it about my mom, I had to do this just to get me through the door because that's the only way you're going to accept it.
First of all, I think the simple answer to this, and it takes us time and different people in different ages, but end of the day, it's your story.
Yeah.
You tell your story as you want. So when people come up to me and they go, you should do this, you should do that. I go, you should. Our buddy Jason Galern one time told me, he goes, when people come up to me, they go, you should do this joke. I go, you should get into comedy and you should do this joke. So it's the same with me. Like I got into trouble because I was very much left-leaning politically. So when Trump was out, I was doing a lot of Trump material, and a lot of Persians were right-leaning. Like they liked Trump. So they would come up to me, don't do Trump jokes. I go, why don't you get a blog and you do your pro-Trump stuff, and this is my show. You don't like it, you don't have to stay. You can go, but this is my show.
Yeah.
So the more I do it, the more I realize, because I think part of our head has been like, we've always performed for people. We've always had, you know, the club owners or the network or whoever it is, even our parents, the struggles we've had. So in our heads, it's always been like, okay, I just want people to approve. But then eventually you get to a point, you go, wait a minute, I'm 49 years old. I got a mortgage. I got kids. I've got points of view.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people go, stick to comedy. I go, you stick to plumbing or whatever it is you do. I'm a person who has an opinion on politics. I got an opinion on sports. I got an opinion on my mom. This is my show. This is my act. So don't tell me how to do my act. Number one. Number two, I would say it's exactly what you're talking about. Like I looked back at, you know, the reason I probably gravitated toward black culture more was because that was the closest thing I had to what I thought I was, which was always an outsider.
So true. And that's not a thought. That's real.
It's real.
That's why I gravitated towards black. And did you also notice, Maz, that black people accepted us so much quicker? Like it was the crazy, like all my earlier shit is black. I did the Black College Comedy Tour. I did Def Jam. I did Showtime at the Apollo. I did BET. Like, didn't do any white rooms.
Yeah.
They didn't think middle America would get it.
But
black people were like, hey man, you're funny.
I want to say this even as a kid, like growing up, and I'm glad you said that, but not, you know, obviously I'm not an immigrant, but growing up black in America, you think because I had, there was a point in time where I went to an all white school, elementary school, and so I would be like ashamed of taking school friends home because I knew there were things about my culture that they wouldn't understand, or that they just wouldn't get because it's just different. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing that you guys dealt with, is that you're just like, oh man, you know, my grandmother does this, you know, this thing, or she's gonna make collard greens, and they're not gonna get it.
They're gonna be like, why does it smell like shit in here? She's clean, goddamn.
But I will tell you, Joe, I think a lot of even white people, at least now, I think a lot of people, because we just hear the haters. We hear that guy who goes, don't talk about your mom. But like you just said, if you go,
by the way, this person is huge.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is that person does not represent. You know, from your shows, when you go to your shows, you have white people coming up going, I loved when you were talking about your grandmother. When I started talking, I realized when I first started out, I used to say, my Iranian mom this, my Iranian mom that. Then I realized my immigrant mom this, because we have a lot in common. And the moment I remember that joke, that I was like, oh, wow, it's not just my grandmother. My grandmother, I used to do a joke. I used to say, I'm sure we all have this. I said, my grandmother used to keep her cash in her bra. And I started, and the joke is, I go, we thought she had a D cup till one day we went to buy a house. She pulled the down payment out of her bra. We realized she was an A cup, and then we looked closer. We realized she was grandpa. We were like, shit.
Right? All right, let me just stop right there. The genius behind that joke and how relatable it is and how beautiful it is because he's representing Iranians, right? To me, that's what it's all about. That's what America is about. And like, for someone to like look at you and be like, why you gotta talk about it's so fucking offensive to me. I get so mad. Like, what is it about us that you don't want to learn? That's just a mom story. You know how many black women I've seen pull money out of their bra? You know how many Asian women I've seen pull shit out of their bra? Like I've seen white chicks that I've dated pull shit out of the bra. So for you to just not appreciate the fact that one, you're representing Iranians by saying just the word Iranian, or just you saying my grandmother's Iranian, that right there is enough to give a young kid so much hope in this country that seems like it's so separated and so pushed away from everything. That one word. So when someone fucking says that to me or to you or anybody, I get so mad, man. That's why I've grown. I've gotten to the point of like not listening. I always say I'm not a jukebox. I'm not taking requests. So when that joke, I did it at the Laugh Factory one night, and I saw a couple of Latina girls falling out of their chairs laughing. I go, oh, Mexican moms do it, Filipino moms do it, black moms do it. So and listen, this is my comedy. You might come and be like, well, so-and-so just talks about whatever's going on. Great, go see so-and-so. You don't have to come see me. But now I will put myself pound for pound. I will put you pound for pound. I saw Chappelle in one of his specials he took a break. He goes, I'm really good at this. And he was cocky, but confident. And I was like, you know what? I just said that to myself a week ago because I'm 22 years in. So when I go up on stage, I say it on stage,
dude. No, but that's
I said it at that fucking mall. Because goddamn, I'm good.
No, because we put in the time and we know it, right? So when I went to do the Comedy Store drive-in show, it was a lineup of a bunch of great comedians, and I wasn't like, oh my God, my fans aren't here, they're not going to get me. I was like, no, I'm going to do this the way that needs to be done. And I went up there with like boom energy. I was like, bam, 20 minutes, just. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you. Good night. And the next comic comes up, Donald Rawlings, he's going to kill. But the point is, I feel like I deserve to be on this stage. So when these rookies or whoever they are come at you and they go, why are you talking about your mother? I go, don't buy the ticket. Just don't buy the goddamn ticket. And by the way, you know what you need to do is see a therapist because you got your own issues. Because Joe, I get this too. I don't know if you get this from your community. Some shit goes down in my community, in the Iranian American community. They want me to represent them. Why aren't you talking about blah, blah, blah. Recently, China and Iran made some deal. Why aren't you talking about the China deal? Bro, I got wife, kids, I got a dog. I'm trying to exercise. I got a million things going on. 95% of my brain is taken care of. It's over. So I decided to post yesterday. I did a run, 5-mile run, posted it on stories. Guys, I ran 5 miles. Why am I doing that? I'm not doing it to be like, I'm badass. I'm doing it to go, you guys should go run. I'm trying to do a little sprinkle of hope.
And by the way, you can, but you're not obligated to.
No,
I'm not obligated. But these motherfuckers hit me up today. Why aren't you talking about the China deal? And that's why I make sure when people ask me, they go, do you represent your people? I go, I don't represent anybody. Because the problem is, I'm going to disappoint somebody when I say I represent everybody. Now, the truth is, my values and I'm probably in line with 99.9% of what my people want me to be talking about, which is what you just said. Go up there, say I'm Iranian. When I first started, people weren't saying they're Iranian, just like you said. People were embarrassed to be Iranian because there was the not without my daughter, the hostage crisis, the Iran-Contra. People
I'm sorry to keep cutting you off because I just want to get this out. Conversation. Because let me tell you how important it is for Maz to go up and say Iranian. When I grew up during that time, this is how fucking racist this country is. They would say Iran.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know how fucking offensive that is? Do you know how fucking horrible that is? And to be honest, I didn't know. I'm ignorant. I think what I see on the news is right and real. And if Dan Rather says Iran, by the way, I love Dan Rather. But when he says Iran, then it's Iran. It's the Iran-Contra affair. And it's Iran. And then here I am going up to people going, Iran. Hey, you're Iran? You're from Iran? And they're like, no, it's Iran. And I'm like, oh, Iran. Like, it's so fucking dismissive. It's so fucking offensive. So, like, That's what I'm saying. Like when you go up and say I'm Persian and my grandmother is from Iran, you're not only educating, but you're giving representation and hope, and it's beautiful. That's like when I do that with my mom, it gives those people hope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Also, what happens is, because people used to ask me about that, they were like, well, you're bringing comedy to these people that don't know you. I go, part of it is me. Part of it is that shot they do of the audience, and you see people that are Filipino, you see people that are Iranian, you see people that are Arab, you see whatever, laughing. And I go, these people, like you were saying, the dude who said, don't talk about your grandmother, whatever, your mom, these people have not seen us laugh. They don't know we laugh. They don't know we have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then when they see that and they flip on your Netflix special and they go, wait a minute, he's funny, just funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
he's just
the key.
fucking
It's
funny.
just funny, yeah.
Just funny, because that's what it is. Because a lot of us, I think, they try to categorize us.
Yeah.
They try to go, oh, you like black comedy? You should watch this guy.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
Asian comedy? You should watch this guy. You like that? No. Let's get on stage and you'll see his story about his son international.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's why we've both performed all over the world.
Yep.
From Australia to Singapore to Saudi Arabia to you
Dubai,
name it. Dubai.
everywhere.
I tell the story about trying to put my kid to sleep.
Done.
And she's
It's a
crying,
wrap.
and
Yeah.
the parents are
Yeah.
and it has nothing to do with
Universal, yeah.
So when people try to stop you or tell you what to do, that especially nowadays, we're so approachable via social media. I come this close to cussing them out, but I just go delete and let it go, because I go, it's not worth my energy. Because by the way, I don't know.
By the way, I'm talking about positions of power.
Oh, that's the. But
That's
again,
what I'm talking about.
Again,
I'm talking about club owners.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fucking TV network execs.
But
Those
that-
are the cats that.
But that's
that
where you
offended
stick
me.
to your guns.
Yeah.
And then and the arc of history comes back, right?
Oh,
It's like
100%.
The book Fountainhead, which was Ayn Rand, who's got her own issues, but there's two architects, and one of them is like a favorite. Everyone loves him, and he's always successful. There's another guy just keeps doing his thing. And by the end of the book, this guy, people realize the genius that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar, like I heard your story with Marin. I love Marin. I was listening to your story about how
thank you.
Netflix didn't want to do the special.
No.
And you go, okay, I got you. I'll go do it.
Yeah.
And they come, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why these people that come at you with telling you what to say and do, when you know what it is you want to talk about, and when you know, I've been into so many pitch rooms where like they'll be like, especially back in the day. I think now they're coming around a little bit more. But some of these networks, I don't know if Middle America is going to like this.
100%.
I was just in Michigan doing a show, and it was all white people, and they were laughing at this shit.
Yeah. I sold out in Nashville. There was one Filipino. Me.
Yeah. I've done your focus group.
Yeah.
This joke works.
Yeah, it really works.
Is this two different Americas we're talking about?
I don't know
'Cause-
what Mary. And by the way, aren't we talking to the world now? Like
We are.
that's what does it. How much does
a great
Middle
point.
America sell every fucking show? Fuck you, Middle America.
Yeah.
By the way, no, not fuck you. I love Middle America, but
Right.
stop using that excuse.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
what happened to the world?
Yeah.
What you're so concentrated on that little piece of land in the middle of America. What about the rest of the world, man?
Well, that comes from the time when there were three networks, and they kind of had the whole.
Bro, when I got denied from Netflix, that was 4
No.
years ago.
No. I'm saying that thought, that line of thinking.
Oh yeah.
was
It's established.
there.
Yeah, but then it's like,
and then
yo,
that understanding that it's global.
I think a big part of it.
Global.
I think a big part of it is getting people from different backgrounds in the executive positions.
Exactly.
yeah.
Because that's when I see a name that doesn't sound like like John Smith name.
Yeah.
I go, okay, this meeting has potential.
who is my uncle, by the way?
Yeah. No, I feel like it has potential because I'm like, okay, this person will understand when I'm talking
Yeah.
about this stuff, as opposed to sitting there staring at
No,
me.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
You know?
I'm not shitting on a particular race. You know what I mean? Just all I'm saying is, man, we live in a time where Google, I've said this before, you can Google something so fast. There's no excuse. Back in the day, there was an excuse to be lazy and ignorant about someone's culture or whatever it is that they believe in. You can have an excuse. I didn't have time to pick up that book and read it, man. I ain't got time for that shit. I just know I don't like it.
Yeah.
Now you can literally Google. You can type in 3 words and you'll find out everything you need to know about a certain race, a certain group. You might find some stuff that you might want to try.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the
Ham hocks sounds delicious.
I think it's the understanding of after what is it, 400 or 500 years of immigration from everywhere all over the world. The American experience is different than you would think it is just based on like European values. It's a amalgamation of all of us.
Like that.
By the way, the reason we have this is we are one of the most diverse countries in the world.
Dude, we're a beautiful country.
We're beautiful. There's racism everywhere. Iranians are racist against each other.
Yeah, dude. There's racism in the Philippines. Man. There's racism everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right.
Now you're asking all of those particular countries with horrible racism to live in one goddamn country together. It's going to be super racist. And you know what? I think we're doing a good job. I mean, look at this room right now. There's a black guy here. There's half white, half Asian. We got a Persian, and we got Isaac, the white guy with a black name. On the control panel. That's what America's all about, man.
For sure.
And if you're not going to get it, then don't get it. But that's your choice. All right? Stay there. Sit there. But I will say this. Steven Spielberg got it.
Oh, yeah.
Steven Spielberg got it.
I'm excited about
sure.
that.
And that's all that matters now.
Yeah.
Anything that anyone ever says to me, I don't give a fuck what you say, man. Spielberg got it. And he inked the deal. There you go.
Bro, that's the most. I ran into Jay Chandrasekhar. I told you.
Oh, I love him.
At a car wash. I ran into him because I was supposed to do something with him a while back. And I was like, what are you up to? And he said he's doing the movie with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
What a great guy. What a smart guy to be working with.
He's
amazing.
genius. He's genius.
You know, one thing.
Oh, look at that. Pull that up, baby.
One thing I will say, and I'm sure you've talked about this. I always tell people, I go, try our food.
Oh, man, I've been saying that forever, man.
That's it.
That's all you got to do.
If
you want to just cross the bridge and meet somebody else and learn about their culture, just enjoy a dish.
Yeah.
Enjoy a dish and sit down. I'm telling you, it's going to open up, once again, the floodgates.
Right.
And you're going to ask questions. You're going to be like, God damn. And then you're going to have similarities like, yo, we do that. And then you'll notice that, man, we're all just the same. I know it's cliche, but our blood is red, man. All of us. We're all red.
Then he'd be dating our women.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not date Persian women. Maz, do not date those are the most expensive women.
Yes.
I dated one. Holy shit. I took her to Gogush.
Oh, yeah.
When Gogush came back,
diva.
when she came back, her initial, her comeback after she was suppressed for how many years? 20 years,
20
whatever.
years,
And then she came back, and this girl was just like, I really want to see Gogush. I'm like, I didn't know who it was. I'm like, I'll take it. Shit, I'll take it to see some Gogush.
Hilarious.
Tickets, $500 a pop. 300 section. Bro, I'm working at Mirage.
Man.
And I take her to Gogush, man. That was my first. Yo, she is the shit.
Gogush is the diva.
Can I just explain what she did?
Diva. Go for it.
Fucking a huge explosion, right? Bro, sold out the MGM Grand Arena, right? That's that white jacket right there, what she's wearing right there with her hands up. That's the Gogush I saw.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, the huge explosion, right? Like fucking, the 17 guitar strings, whatever it is, right? Just killing. This, I swear to God, I thought the King Tut was a dance that hip hop made. From b-boying. You know what I mean? I thought that was something that we did it, right?
Right.
Yo, Gogush came out and did that.
Oh, yeah.
She came out and was like,
oh, yeah.
Just hitting
she was doing that shit. And I was like, oh, shit. We were killing that shit, dude. That was the best 2 hours of my life, bro.
She's amazing.
Expensive, though. I had to break up. I could never talk to that girl again. But God. The best, bro. Yeah, man. That's it, right? That's the guitar?
That's the sitar. No, the guitar.
sitar?
Gugush did a lot. She did one where she took a song from Jesus Christ Superstar and sings it in Persian. It goes doon 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 doo 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 da 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 doon 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 doon. That's Jesus Christ Superstar. And then she starts singing, and the song that she sings is called Divorce. So it's about this guy. She's divorcing this dude. And it's deep shit. You're like, whoa.
Which is crazy to talk about being a Iranian woman, right? Like that's like, so she was kind of like, the Madonna.
She's the Madonna. She's the
Madonna.
Celine Dion. She's all of it.
Well, not Celine Dion. I'm saying Madonna. The reason why I say
go,
Madonna, you mean Celine Dion voice.
Cher.
But Madonna.
She's Cher.
But she got that Madonna attitude.
Yeah. But she's the diva. Right. She is like the diva.
Oh yeah, she's a diva
But
for sure.
Truth is,
finally she's getting her money too.
I know,
she's
man.
getting that paper. She deserves
They
it.
banned her from singing for many
Believe
years.
that?
Crazy.
Banned
Isn't
it.
that
Just
crazy?
took it from her. Everyone, just support Gugush. If you want to go
Support
see
Gugush.
something amazing, go see that. Because I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It was
cool.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And Persian food is amazing.
Persian food's amazing.
Yes, sir.
My wife's Indian, so I'm like you. I
I love Indian
got
food.
She's-
Oh God, you got the best
We
of
get the
both
best
worlds,
food, bro. That's the best food.
Yeah.
That's another joke I do. I go Thanksgiving at our house. We got Persian food, Indian food. Nobody touches the turkey. So you walk by the turkey goes gobble gobble. I go, fuck you, turkey. I got 4,000 years of cuisine. That food is delicious. It's delicious, dude.
Yo, they should have butter. They should have butter turkey.
Butter turkey.
You know how they have butter chicken?
Oh yeah. Why not? Why shouldn't they? Turkey's the driest.
It's so dry.
So
Yeah.
dry.
It's so, and they call it butterball. There's nothing
There's
in there.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They should just
They
call
should.
that. They should call that cinder block.
What's the best? Where's the best food to get best place to get Filipino food in LA?
Unfortunately, we are misrepresented.
It's all at my house.
Yeah,
At your house?
it's in his house.
Okay.
You know, he's married to my sister.
Yeah.
And then if I decide to cook every now and then, Howie Mandel and I are probably going to open up this Filipino restaurant in LA.
I'll go eat there.
Yeah.
You got a customer.
That's one.
Done. It's amazing. You know, I blew. That's another reason why I did that on my last special, In His Elements. I just wanted to show a couple of food dishes just to be like, yo, we have good food. Try it.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why is because, you know, to this day, it's 2021. You can't find a good Filipino restaurant,
Right.
like a sit down, beautiful Filipino restaurant
Yeah.
that everybody goes to. So if I will do it.
For us, you go to Westwood.
Okay.
There's a place called Daria, which is on Santa Monica. Shamshiri is in Westwood, and then over here on the in Glendale, there's a place called Rafi's Place. What part of town are you? North, south?
I'm right above this building.
So you probably can go to Rafi's Place, which is it's in Glendale. It's
All right,
Armenian, Persian Armenian. I mean, the rice, the kebabs,
Yeah.
we do the burnt rice, tadig.
Ugh.
I mean, the food.
What about the fish? You guys have fish?
fish is amazing. You could do. Oh my God, there's so much. I got to take you one
I'm
time.
a vegetarian.
Bro, I'll hook you up vegetarian.
Newly.
Well, they've learned. No, they've learned to do that because
Oh, they have all the dishes.
it used to be
man.
all meat broths,
we gotta
but
go.
they realized, oh, you're doing vegetarian. We got vegetarian, and the broths are. It's like Indian food, but not spicy hot.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, God, you got to try our food.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Can we go?
I'm taking.
Can
you.
I go?
Let's go.
You're coming.
I
No.
cannot
You
go.
can't go.
Yeah, he's going. He's going. Of course you can go.
You know,
Why would you ask
Filipinos
that?
are just wrecking the food truck world in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we are wrecking the food truck
Y'all
world,
got that
but
all locked out.
we do. But unfortunately, I don't want to say food truck. I want to say a nice restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, where's our turn?
Yeah.
I want to walk in and see every color of the rainbow when they're just enjoying the dish not because it's Filipino, because it's just delicious.
Right.
Yeah, that's anyways, that's
You
me
want
on
something with a bathroom?
I want a bathroom and not 1,000 mops in the back.
You know, that's all.
This was a good pod.
I love seeing you, man.
I love seeing you, Maz. I love your success, your stories. I love everything that you've done. Like I said, you've always indirectly inspired me. I remember watching your special, and you had just like this beautiful outfit on. I forgot where you shot it, but it was just like you had this beautiful outfit, and it's just a beautiful stage. And I think this was before I was shooting my my live from Seattle, because I was studying a bunch of specials.
Yeah.
Because I had to pay for it myself.
Yeah.
So I literally had to study.
Yeah.
And figure out lighting and set design and everything, outfits.
Yeah.
And I remember watching yours. I can't remember which one it was. It was a beautiful outfit.
It might be that. Was it that one? The Netflix one with the blue? I had a nice blue suit on that. I've always had suits. My wife is telling me get rid of the suits or you're starting to look old.
I think it's the blue one.
Yeah.
Now, up there. Is it the blue one?
Yeah, that's the same suit right there. Yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and if you go where there's a stand-up comedy special, that's got to be it. That's that immigrant.
I can't remember. It was your shoes that fucking got me, though.
Yeah. No, dude. Again, people don't know the work that goes into.
What's the other one before this one?
The one before this was I'm not a terrorist, but I've played one on TV.
Can I see that one?
That one was so the Netflix one was shot at the Kennedy Center,
Dope.
and then this one was that's the book, but there's a special, so you got to put special, and that one was a Showtime one.
That's it. That's the one I
Showtime?
watched.
Okay, then that's the one. Yeah. That was a nice suit too. Oh, that one keeps coming up. That's the cover. Like the way people criticize this. The book cover is like I'm wearing a Palestinian keffiyeh. That's what the Palestinians
I love that
wear.
thing. That
and the whole joke,
that's the one. That's the one I saw.
Yeah. The whole joke is that like
Can you press that?
Hollywood mixes us up. Like they'll put Persian, Palestinian. They don't care.
Yeah, they do that. They see they'll see a Sikh and go, "Oh my God, he's got a bomb."
Yeah. So someone was
I
like,
like how you just threw away. They don't care.
yeah. Someone was like, "Why are you wearing that on the cover?" I go, "Bitch, the whole point
Right
is
there.
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah, that's it. Who the hell's that dude on the
That
right?
that's the one I saw.
Yeah, that's that.
And
That's
yo,
another-
look how fresh he looks.
Right.
And I just remember going, God damn, this dude.
Oh yeah, he's clean. He's
Clean.
clean.
This guy's clean right here.
Yeah, bro.
Killing it right here.
We're trying, man.
So proud of you watching
Thanks,
that.
man. Right back at you. Right back at you. Every time I just see you and you're inspiring me, brother. Right back at you. And my kids now love you. It's like,
Yes.
It's great.
Yes,
no,
this is
I
for them.
I forget
This
what
is
it
for
was.
them.
No, they were. Yeah. Oh, you're the best. I think I came home and they were watching you.
Oh.
And it was funny because in a way I was like, motherfuckers, when'd you start watching other people's specials? I thought I was the only one with the special.
Yeah, there's only one special in this household.
Oh man, it's
That's
the best.
beautiful.
It's the best.
I love you, man.
I love you.
You are the best. Maz Jobrani. Wait, what are we promoting? Anything?
There's a new special on Peacock called Pandemic Warrior.
Nice.
That one I shot in Dubai.
Dope.
And then my podcast is called Back to School with Maz Jobrani.
Yes.
Bring on different people, talk about different things. Just
Can I
an
be on
excuse. I would love for you to be on it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I can't wait.
We're doing it.
What else? The book? You can get the book still?
The book, I got a ton of stuff, but follow me on Instagram and all that on at Maz Jobrani. You can get the book. I got like 4 or 5 specials, but really the current ones are Pandemic Warrior and it's and Immigrant is still on Netflix. So you can watch Immigrant on Netflix, Pandemic Warrior on Peacock, and then listen to Back to School with Maz Jobrani anywhere podcasts are found.
I love it. There you go, you guys. That's what you do. You surround yourself with kings and you become a king. You stay inspired, look up to people, and always just be a student. There's always time to learn. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Stop
don't cry.
Yeah, and
Don't
and
fucking
most
cry.
importantly, don't cry. All right, you guys, we can do this. I love you.